Gently, nothing quite. That was not gently. All right, folks, I've already taken everything apart as far as this tank goes. So if you guys want to see how to take all of this stuff off, you can check my previous video on how to get to the fuel pump, on how to get everything essentially out. I'm gonna use this little device right here, and I'm gonna peer down into this tank. And what I wanna see is if the tank has any rust. So I'm using this mirror with the light on it, and I can kind of peer off into the bottom of the tank. As you guys can see, it's pretty much clean. There's like no rust. So that lets me know that the tank itself is in fact pretty clean. There's no rust in here. Now that only shows the bottom portion of the tank. That doesn't show everything up here, but I can easily flip this over and peer off into it and see that just like the bottom, the tank still looks very clear. You see the fuel is pretty clear, but if you look right there in the center, there is something right there that I don't know. It looks like a piece of debris. When I shake the tank, see it's gone now. So there is a few particles floating around in here, but nothing that's just standing out to me that, you know, the tank is rusted or anything. Even 15 years old, I'm pretty pleased with the way that this tank looks. It doesn't take much to disconnect this. You got the fuel pump right here. There's a bit of a pin right here that you simply pry off. Either way, it has to be changed out. So, oh yeah, there's that. So now it's off. So that pretty much fell off. Let me get this off. All right, that's off. All right, next up I got one screw right there. I got to unscrew. It's going to take that bracket off. And then I got the electrical connector right there. And there's the fuel pressure regulator. There we go. All right. That's a ground cable that's off now. So that's free now. Right, so that's off. All right, this is the fuel pump. There's the electrical connection at the top, has a little pin. You push in and pull. This is where the fuel comes out. That is where the fuel goes in, where the filter's connected to. And here's that electrical connection right there. This is where it pulls it. I don't know what, I think this dumps it back into the tank. I don't remember which line that is. That's the fuel pressure regulator. I'm gonna take that off. That is the ground wire right there. And that's the bracket that holds it in there. I do see a little bit of debris in these contact pins right here. I don't know if you can see that on the right side of that contact right there, inside that connector. And some right there on the left. That looks like some of the same black stuff that was in the fuel filter. And here's the fuel filter, of course. So I'm gonna look at this fuel pump, and then I'm gonna look at that regulator. I'm gonna see if I can just see anything that's standing out to me. But this, man, it's looking, I hate to say it, looks normal. Before I did this, I had to drain the gas out of the tank, and I took the bike out, the 109, and rode this bike like I stole it. And it didn't act up a single time. There was no stuttering, no weird fuel cutouts, and yeah, it simulated the bike not having a single problem, so I could not get it on camera.
What it needs, right? Woo!
Some of you mentioned that it could have been the spark. It could be the spark plug gaps. It could be fuel injectors. It could be bad fuel. But the thing is, I put brand new spark plugs in here that were said by the shop to be good. Like they're perfectly gapped and everything. I didn't have to do anything but install them. I checked the boot wires. They all checked in spec. I have not checked the fuel injectors. As far as the gas goes, I have been getting my gas from a newer gas station that hasn't been around long, so I would assume they have everything going on that's correct with their fuel. I also put that fuel in my car, so I don't know. It definitely could be fuel, but as far as the injectors go, even if I were to clean the injectors, I still have to figure out where that's coming from, whether it be the bad gas or there's rust in the tank or the fuel pump's bad or whatever. So it wouldn't make sense for me to clean the injectors and not clean the tank and then they get clogged again. So right now I'm just trying to figure out where is the source. And then once I find out what the source is, then I can go in and clean everything up until the end of this part of the system. So like for instance, the braking system, I had an issue with braking fluid. I had issues with the pistons, had issue with the brake pads. So I had to actually go from the beginning of the master cylinder all the way down to rebuilding the caliper. So that entire system was rebuilt. And as far as the fuel system goes, I had to start from the fuel cap to the gas, to the tank, to the fuel pump, to the rail, all that. So I'm troubleshooting it, but that's where I am. That's where I am on this so far. But let's check this fuel pressure regulator. What's holding the fuel pressure regulators appears to be these two pins that we just pop back, and we should be able to get this off. I got that screw right there, and that may allow me to get more clearance. I took this little boot out, which goes into here, and the fuel pump connects in. So fuel filter goes into pump, goes into here, then it goes down through the fuel rail, and this side goes into the fuel pressure regulator. But I was taking this out just to check, you know, to make sure there's like no weird debris in here. And I can see that it actually is pretty clean. All right, so I was able to actually get this off, and the only thing that's holding it on is that rubber O-ring right there. So you got to give it a little tug. This all looks pretty clean. I'm gonna actually examine in that hole for any debris, but I did check the other end, the exit from the fuel assembly, and that seemed to be clear. So, all right, fuel pressure regulator. You got two tabs on this. So you got one right there, and you got one right there. I just pop that up gently. Nothing crazy. That was not gently. That thing just shot across the room. All right, I'll go and get it later. All right, to get this regulator out of this plastic piece, there's that little, I guess, slot right there. Kind of just have to pull it because, again, there's another O-ring there. Just give it a gentle tug and you should be able to get it out. It appears to be clean. I'm still gonna clean every single thing with carb cleaner just because, and put it all back together, but this little part is 150 bucks. Oh crap. And actually that's another port I need to see. It's 150 bucks. And that I think it's like 50 or 60. This is 350. I think this entire assembly is like 500 some dollars. Whew. I've checked the regulator, fuel pump, or what I can check on the fuel pump, the assembly, the beginning to the fuel line to the fuel rail. Yeah, I don't really see anything out of place except a few pieces of debris here and there. So I'm kind of at a loss on possibly what's wrong here, other than not being able to see inside the fuel pump. But I do have a theory based on something I discovered a while ago with the gas cap. So check this out. So to give the bike the best chance of breathing and getting fuel like it's supposed to, I'm gonna clean this. That's all gunk build up under the gas cap just over time. It's only a few screws to take this off, and like this screw right here, it's just got, you can see on the paper there, it's just so much build up around that. So it's gonna clean this and then put everything back together and see what it does. So my theory is that gas cap, all that gunk or dirt, maybe some of the O-rings around it. Some of that stuff has started to degrade over time, and it's got in the fuel tank. Then the fuel pump sucked that stuff up along with the filter, and then that is what caused the bike to run like crap. Even after cleaning that gas cap, it doesn't explain why the new one is still getting dirty. And I know fuel is going to discolor the fuel filter as well, but it's pretty much drained all the fuel out of it sitting on the cardboard, and it's still changing colors. A theory of mine is that some of that trash is still stuck inside of this fuel pump in some kind of way. Like it's still internally in here, and it's passing it at certain points. And then of course that's traveling down to the injectors, which I haven't cleaned yet or even looked at, because I'm trying to find the root cause of the problem before I go that far to the very end of the fuel system. Because if I go to the end of the fuel system and clean it and the tank is still dirty, it's gonna get clogged up again. I've been down that road before on my Suzuki M50. I had the injectors cleaned twice. And then the third time I had the tank cleaned, and that's when the problem went away. So there's no point in doing that. Now I'm just sitting here trying to just think through it, like what could be the problem. Let's say it's not the fuel system. It still doesn't explain why this fuel filter is turning different colors outside of the fuel that's gonna stain it anyway. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm at a loss for words. I think it's the pump, but I hate that I can't see inside of it. And the bike ran fine last time. Yeah, I'm just kind of like trying to figure it out, like talk it out. Yeah, let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. It's still fun taking this thing apart, because now I know how pretty much the beginning of the fuel system works as far as sending fuel down the line. Like I know how pretty much all of it works outside of the electricity part now. It's a good thing knowing that the tank, even after 15 years, it is still pretty much in good shape, and it's not like, you know, rusting out or anything. But I probably need to get a new gas cap, considering I had to clean the last one. I'm thinking about going an aftermarket pump. I tend to put stock components back on my bike unless I'm doing anything more performance oriented, and that pump is still going, even though I'm assuming that it's acting up now. Yeah, again, let me know what y'all think in the comments. And yeah, I'm probably gonna end up buying one. I think I found an aftermarket one for like 80 bucks. It's a lot better than 350, and it comes with a filter. I'm gonna think about it. But as always, thanks for listening to my story. And if you subscribed, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.